I don't think I have to start right away, but okay. All right, guys. So this is going to be a little bit different and a totally change of pace from what I'm used to doing with the other podcast. Obviously, I've only done like 3 episodes, or I've really published the 3 episodes that I've done. I've done a little bit more than that, but I've had so many issues with this computer that I currently have, and a lot of just things going wrong. Like more hardware wise, not mentally, but stuff like that. It's becoming a headache, and I'm just trying to get through. I decided I'm building a new computer in the next month or two, and that'll just be the new podcast computer. And some better cameras too. The webcams I have now are nice in my opinion, but they were nice when I bought them a few years ago for streaming. So nowadays I'd rather get some nice HD, like 4K type cameras. But anyways, let's just get into it. Um, Man, I guess I want to start off by saying, like to anybody that's gonna give me the time of day, um, I genuinely hope everything is going well. I've been distancing myself a lot, or I should say, I distanced myself. I would say like near the end of summer, start of fall last year. I stopped kind of existing in the world. I just stuck with my family, stuck with work, see a couple friends here and there. Other than that, I just kind of do my own thing now. And I can't tell you how beneficial it's been for my mental health. I'd ever hate to say like not having people around is a great thing, but you know what? Sometimes when you're just overwhelmed and you're super stressed, it's just you need a break. There's this world class strongman. Um, the handle on Instagram, I believe, is World's Strongest Gay, and he was talking about how every like 6 months or so, after really hardcore like long workouts for these strongman competitions, um, that he takes like a week, like a full week off for recovery. And the recovery, like by the end of that week, he's very like he's stronger than at the start of the week, like because he gave that stress relief to his body. So I think we should do that mentally. It's a really good thing to self reflect. And with that said, this is gonna be like okay, pretty much. Uh, I post way too much on Facebook, very opinionated things, and I go on these weird rants and I say a lot of crazy like I don't say crazy things in the sense that I'm a crazy person and I'm saying outrageous things. I'm just saying things that are just more like they're like my inner thoughts, and they should be. I don't know. A Facebook wall status just isn't the avenue for that. So I decided to turn all of that into this, which is what I'm gonna call disoriented. Um, I've dealt with mental health my whole life. I was diagnosed with depression when I was 13 years old. I went to a mental health facility because I got into a fight at school, and they're like, "You can't come back to school until you get evaluated." So I got evaluated. They had me go to their outpatient program, and yeah, I was diagnosed with depression and also bipolar. But I kind of think the bipolar thing. Sorry, I kind of think the bipolar thing was a little overdrawn or misdiagnosed rather. And they also diagnosed me with anxiety. So the two that I really stick with, excuse me, rather that stick with me are the anxiety and the depression. They definitely, man, anxiety is one thing. It stops me from going out. It stops me from doing certain things. But like depression, literally, like when I say anxiety stops me from going out, I mean like I so don't want to be around people that I'll rather just stay home. But I'm not like an introvert. So it's a weird thing. Like I have a very extroverted personality, but I just don't. I feel uncomfortable around people. It's like weird. It's like I have it and I don't at the same time. It's just so yeah. I don't like being around people. My depression keeps me from like work and doing things I want to do and like having hobbies and stuff and just besides taking care of my kids, depression really just fucks with everything. And I would say like even then it probably messes with it a little bit. Not in the sense that I feel that I like let it affect how I am towards them, but maybe like, hey, we don't go to the park today, or maybe we don't go swimming, or maybe we just mope around. Like I'm still enjoying my time with you. I'm still being in a good mood. Like I'm not exactly faking it. Like I am in a good mood when I'm around my kids. Even if I'm depressed and stuff, I can't help but just put a smile on around my kids. It's a natural thing. Um, But yeah, so some people they require medicine. Some people require a diet change. Some people require outdoors. Like I think the issue that we have is that everybody's an individual. Everybody's different. We're all so drastically unique that each person needs their own unique form of medication. For me, it used to be weed. I mean, it still is, but like it used to be a more bigger focus to my mental health. And then I took a step back. I'm like, hey, it's a great aid, but you can do something else, you know. And one thing that I'm gonna save for, I'm gonna bank it a little bit till I get a few episodes in. But I was like addicted to the spice for almost 7 years. Like that was a big thing. So when I had gotten off that, I transitioned to weed, and I was like, that's just like my thing, you know. So a little bit of like being just over like 2 years and 2 months sober, and I'm just kind of like living a decently great life. Like I got hired at a job for once. I was on contract for almost 9 years. Finally got picked up, not at the same place, but just doing contract, temp work. um, so yeah, so even though my life is on a definite better path, I still hit those road bumps with my depression and everything, you know. So I figured the medicine for me is this. I want to aspire to be doing podcasts. That's like even if it literally never goes anywhere and I get nobody to watch it. At once I really ramp into it, I just want to be consistent and do them forever. Like I like just talking to the microphone. I found that the biggest revelations I've had in life, through conversations, really come from when I'm just talking to a friend and I'm like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, whatever, and we just are having a casual, nice conversation, and like a light bulb goes off in my head. I'm like, oh yeah, that explains a lot. And I'm very self-reflective. Like that whole taking time off from working out physically, I do that mentally. I do it more often than I probably should. Like I don't know if it's a healthy thing to do it all day, every day, nonstop, no matter what. Like you can never turn off your thoughts. Like it's a really weird thing. And my friends sometimes get upset with me. You know, they'll be like, "Hey, can you just like stop talking for 5 minutes?" And it's impossible. There's no off switch. Like it's weird. The second I close my mouth, it just starts. It keeps on going, and it's mentally exhausting. Like it's gotta be. Your brain's working all the time, and it can never just take a break. Like I can never just stare at the wall. I mean, music is one thing. I can probably put some music on and just get lost in the moment. But I don't know. For the most part, I'm pretty much always on edge, always having thoughts, never getting free from that. You know. And yeah, so here we are. I just want to maybe I don't go into so much detail about everything all the time. Like we'll just see how it goes. It's basically gonna be just a one-on-one, like a one-on-all, I guess. Like me to the camera. Just a conversation, you know. We're just gonna have a conversation with myself and see how it goes. I basically use the internet as my therapy device because the whole part about being self-reflective is I don't need a therapist to throw that back at me and like give me the questions and stuff. I am hyper aware. It's actually one of the it's a cool benefit when you're very vigilant and aware of everything because like it's cool you actually pay attention and you see a lot more than what others see, but then it does become an issue because there's always cons to everything and it sometimes it gets a little much and then you get like a sensory overload or something and you're just like ugh, people, everything too much, you know. um and I've also decided that it's still first episode, early stages, and everything. I've decided that I'm not gonna do any monetary anything forever. Like I'm just mentioning it now just because I want to fill some time. But I'm never gonna put a price or a sponsorship or anything on this specific thing. Ooh, I do apologize. I need to start getting more professional about burping and yawning. I'm tired. I just wanted to get this out there, you know. Just a lot of shit goes on. It's hard to explain, like, especially someone like myself. Like, yeah, I'm definitely overweight, so people can't be like, oh, he's got everything together. But like, man, like I got 3 kids, one is a 7 month old, so can't really say she's the greatest. But like my two sons, 7 and 5, man, make me proud every day. And I don't say it just to say it. Like so many people I know say how amazing their kids are on like social media or just in person. Like, hey, my kids, they're amazing. And then it's like, no, your kids are so not amazing. God, get me out of here. And like, you know what it is that I treat my kids like they're my equals. My kids are no different than any other person on the face of this earth. We're all humans. We're all animals. Like whatever categories, keep on breaking it down. Um, and I'm definitely a fanboy of Joe Rogan. So I'll like a lot of stuff I'll say kind of is from his philosophy, but I just take what I hear from everybody. Like any given person, I'll take what you say and I'll take it really really deep to heart. But I really do feel like children are our equals. Like, why should I treat my children differently just because they're little? Why should I treat them like they don't know things, or why should I treat them like they shouldn't know things? You know, like, well, you're this age. Like, I'm not gonna be like, hey guys, you want to see what a dead body is? Like, you want to see what Jeffrey Dahmer did? You want to see all these like, you want to see Chris Watts or whatever the dude's name is that strangled his two daughters and his wife? Like, you guys want to see that 5 and 7 year old boys? You want to see horrific stuff like that? No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying in general that when it comes to most things, I don't shield them from anything. If they're swearing, boobs, nudity, whatever. It's like, hey, that's reality right there, man. Enjoy it. But we also have a conversation about it. I don't. Do you have the two extremes? One extreme side says shield the kids' eyes, cover their ears, do whatever you can, make it so they don't see it, and then don't explain it to them. Don't have any reasoning. Just be like, because I said so. Because I said so. Listen to me. I'm the rule maker. And with no reason, you're kind of like, what the? And then there's the other side of that where it's like, hey, let them see it, but don't say anything again because hey, it's life, right? No, you let them see it and then you explain it. It's not that hard. I don't know. I don't really want to get into too much parenting things, but I just want to pretty much talk what's on my mind. I feel like when I get going, I definitely got to slow the speaking down a little bit because I know I speak a little fast. But once I slow it down, I know I definitely can I can get something going because I get so ramped up and I just go like a freight train and there's really no stopping me. I spend like 45 minutes on the phone with my wife. When I leave work, I call her like the second I get in my car. My Bluetooth connects. I call her up, say, "Hey, babe, I'm off work." She's even like, "What's up?" Like, I'm leaving work, but it's just a routine we do. I literally talk to her until I pull into the driveway, because she works a different schedule than me. Because I work a day job and she is a server, so she does not. So I work during the day, obviously, day job. I get off at 3. I get home by like 3:30, 3:45, depending on traffic, and then she has to go to work by 4:30. So it's nice that we get that time after work to, really like. And the cool part um, is we have some of like the most intimate conversations, and more or less like my side to her. And I definitely, like I said, like I definitely get a lot out. And more times than not, she's kind of just like an ear for my ranting. And like she said many times, she doesn't mind, and I really appreciate that like a lot. Might even cry saying it because it means a lot to me. Um, I just like when people care and they're genuine. I'll probably cry a lot on this thing. It's talking about trauma. It's bringing up shit I don't want to bring up, but I do like. It's not that I don't want to bring it up. It's like you're hesitant. You don't know what the outcome is. But I love feeling vulnerable. It's one of the few things that makes me feel absolutely human, and I feel like I really like doing things that other people don't. Like I'm a nonconformist in such a strange way. Like I really don't like doing anything that other people are doing. Like I don't like if even in my most favorite songs, it's like it got too popular on the radio. I don't like it anymore. It's almost debilitating in some aspects where I will actively avoid doing things or listening or watching like whatever. Insert this thing that's super popular is here. I don't even acknowledge it, or I actively, I guess, choose to not acknowledge it. Like whatever the opposite of not acknowledges. Um, but I think letting it out is a good thing. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm gonna really do it exactly like this. I'm just gonna put a white screen on or like a white background on my computer. Have my little screen down here with the thing going for recording. Just be in a dark room. It makes me feel the most comfortable and I feel secure. So I can talk like more. Like I feel like the lights being on. It's it's a different atmosphere. Sorry if I'm breathing like right into the mic, but it's a different atmosphere. It's a different beast altogether. It it sets the tone, you know. And I'll probably do every episode in the dark like this. Um, like so, yeah. This is more just an introduction. And we're only about 15 minutes in. I want to push it another 10. Get at least a 25-minute episode in. I don't want it to be too short. It is the first episode. It's more or less just me explaining, what's up, and just kind of throwing some thoughts out there. And that's kind of how. There's a reason why I didn't want this to be mutual, like together rather, not mutual, but together with Just the Other Day. And it's more like Just the Other Day can be topical. It's really from me and my wife. So it's first of all, that's our show, not mine. Even though I made it and I'm doing everything, she's my partner in crime. Like, I'm not gonna be like, hey, so some episodes I'm gonna talk, like, it's basically like I'm gonna have two shows and we're gonna call it the same thing. So some episodes it'll be you and we'll talk about topical and like everyday things, show some clips, like basically a much more tame version of Your Mom's House. It's kind of what I'm going for me and my wife. You know, like I definitely don't want to be showing people jerking off, people smoking meth, people like all the stuff they show. Little extreme, but it's a hilarious show. Just my audience and friends are a little less crunchy than that. And so let's just start things. So I wanted to make this completely separate. And I've actually had a couple friends ask if they could come on this one. Be like, I've asked them about that one. They're like, eh. And then when I mentioned to them this, they're like, I'd like to do it. It's like, cool. Like, and I think what I would do though, if I had guests for this one, is I wouldn't do it like interview style. Oh shit. I would do it more like storytelling style. Because when it goes like interview style, like when I'm just asking questions or I'm trying to get something out, the issue I have there is I kind of start to bring up my own stuff and I fill that in. And I do it only to relate. Like, I only ever bring up my own shit. Like, if you tell me something really horrific about yourself or even like something great and I like tell you something about me, I'm not trying to one up you. I see a lot of like these like, how to be a good person. Don't fucking one up people. Like, I'm not one upping you. And sorry that if you take it that way. What I'm doing is I'm giving you a connection that I can, like, hey, I can relate to this situation, and I'm continuing this conversation to like just a continued state by letting you know that I understand where you're coming from because I had a very similar thing. If there's situations where I feel like I'm one-upping somebody, I just don't bring it up. I don't have to bring it up every single time. Like, yeah, I'm a judgmental person and I think very highly of myself. But it's weird because I also have low self-esteem too. So it's a constant roller coaster, But I would never do that. It's not right. Oh, shit. I need some water. So yeah, going back to this Facebook thing about how like I kind of put all this rant and shit. Sure, no one's listening at this point, so sorry that this part will actually mean something. Um, in the past, I have posted about a lot of kink type things, and I'm considered a kink shamer. So the most recent one has been this daddy daughter or daddy dom little girl. And then before that was like a very similar one, but it was more like trolls, and I got played by like a group that was very similar to the daddy dom thing, but it's more like actual pedophiles, and stuff. So it's just like I kind of hate on predatory people a little too much, and like not that that's ever a bad thing. Like you should hate on people that do that stuff. Like I'm never giving excuses or anything, but I think what happens is, and like here's my point. When I see people and like there's two, like you're debating or just arguing, I'll say, not even debating, but you're arguing back and forth, and one person has, like, let's say we do A and B. We're not doing left and right. We're just doing A and B. So A says this, and it's very factual and really right, and everybody for the most part agrees. But then Team B and the Team B side's like, hey, we disagree with that. But we disagree with it, and we're not going to acknowledge your facts. We're not going to acknowledge like the reason, like nothing. Like it's just we just outrightly deny it, And it's kind of like the same thing. Shit. Sometimes I get trapped in my words. Like I'm trying to think of what the next thing to say appropriately is, and then I forget the back end of that, and I forget what I was saying. So, apologies. And I probably won't remember it either. So we move forward. Oh shit. Okay, so we're talking about the daddy dom thing. So, with the people when like one side just outrightly, like, we'll give the example. climate change versus like the boomer age, people. They send the millennials and the younger generations to school, and a lot of times you hear, "Hey, like from the first one in my family to go to college," and like that means that the first of all the generations, like you going to college, and that's good. But then, like, why is it that your family and everybody else that put you through that, or had you go to college and told you how important it was, they don't believe anything that you have to say now? Like, you have all this new information and education. They're like, yeah, we don't care. Like, this is what we think. This is what we know. We're sticking over here. We don't care what you can prove over here. So it's just like applying the same thing, basically, is what I'm trying to get at with this thing. So basically, what I'm doing on Facebook is I'm going to such extreme lengths to bash these subset groups and like to like go out of my way to hate them and everything. And then people are coming into my comments and they're being very reasonable with me, and they're like, "Hey man, like we understand 100% where you're coming from, but can you consider this?" And like whatever the reasoning is, even if it's not sound, I have been disrespectful and I don't give them the time of day, and I'm just like, "Nope. Fuck you, this is bullshit, not even gonna acknowledge your shit." I was like, well, it makes me no better. Even if I feel so rightly that I am right, it makes me no better because I'm not even acknowledging the other side. It's one ear, not the other. Or just, like, not even in one ear. It's like blocking it, not even gonna, like, bring that up, So, I would like to open up the discussion. I personally feel that, and this is more of a personal feeling based on I wouldn't say the small amount, but let's say the collective one whole year of Googling an hour a day, collectively. So 365 hours. Let's say 400 hours between being a teenager till now. I've done enough research on psychology and stuff because I really want to be like kind of an amateur. What I say to everybody is I'm a clinical psychologist without the actual degree, or I'm a non-clinical psychologist. Like I definitely really like to pick the brain apart. So what we know about human brains and everything, and like what we know about people is a lot of our kinks and a lot of our fetishes come from traumas as a child. And so when I am just at face value presented on the screen of, hey, this is a 37-year-old man, he is dating a 27-year-old woman. Totally nothing wrong with that right there. Then you add on, she dresses up as a 7-year-old girl and pretends to be a 7-year-old girl. And then daddy takes care of the 7-year-old girl and then fucks the 7-year-old girl. I'm sorry to use that word, but it's how I feel about it, and it's what I'm bringing to the table. I'm being fucking honest, and I'm being transparent, and I will never lie, and I will never not be genuine for whatever reason, even if it makes me look like a complete fucking idiot or asshole. I stick to my guns, and I only change my opinion when I'm presented with facts, and I can change it accordingly, but I can only change that if I am respectful enough to actually give the people the time of day and consider what they're saying. And I should at least read what it is. I shouldn't just straight up be like, nope, blow me, I don't care. So, with that being said, I think what my issue is that I'm reading, again, I have to talk to them one-on-one, but what I'm reading and how they're articulating this is like, this 37-year-old guy gets off on being like a dad, like, but there's the sexual element, and that bothers me so much. So, and obviously at 24 minutes, no one's even watching, but the table's open. I would love to talk about anybody about it. I would love to go more in depth, and I would love to understand it. Even if at the end of the day, I still have the same feelings and I don't change my opinion, at least I considered it, and at least I gave the people the time of day to say what they want to say. Because in reality, if I want to be that transparent and I want to be genuine to myself, and I just want this like really honest life in front of me, I can't have that if I solely believe one thing, or I'm closed-minded or whatever. Like I was telling my wife the other day, again, I'm such a big Joe Rogan fan, and I'm like, there's a lot of stuff he says that I don't agree with, and I actually really enjoy that about myself, and like this faux relationship I have with an imaginary character. Like obviously he's a real person, but to my head, like you have to realize I work 40 hours a week. I get 3 hours at your mom's house, if that. I get like 3 hours of Kill Tony, if that, and I get like one murder mystery podcast. That's like, let's say that's 10 hours, okay? Let's just say it right there, it's 8 hours. It's one day out of my 5-day week. So I have 4 more 8-hour days to kill, and I don't like listening to music when I work. Like sometimes I do, but most of the times it's just people talking. So I've heard so much from him that he has like become this imaginary figure in my head of more than he is, like putting him on a pedestal basically. But the thing is that if I blindly adhere to everything he says and I am just more a blind follower of him, it's not my thoughts. It's not me. It's not genuine. It's just I'm just believing everything. I'm regurgitating everything this dude that I look up to says. And instead, I'm like, I don't agree with this. I don't agree with that. And it's a part of that self-reflection. It's like, well, I see where he's coming from, but I don't agree with it. Like, he doesn't believe in open borders. Like, I mean, I could see if you're like, in today's world, open borders seems kind of ridiculous because we all don't get along. That's one thing to say, but if you're like, yeah, I don't believe the entire world should all be friends, it's like, dude, what the hell? Like, you're saying that as a rich dude that has everything, like, and you have worked for it, dude. Like, 1,000% you have worked for that. But you're saying that from an entitled position, So it's like kind of like a fucked up thing. Like, if you were the most impoverished person in the world, you'd be like, hey, it'd be a lot more fair if we all had a fair share. Like, not saying that if you're not hungry and you don't strive for the best, you don't deserve the best. But there's a fine difference between having the best of the best and hoarding everything and not giving a little bit to anybody and needing only 1% of all that you're hoarding. It's just ridiculous. It's silly, But I think I'm just going to conclude it there. First episode. What I think I'm going to do, just as a heads up, is I'm going to do like 3, 4, maybe 5 episodes like this. And then maybe I'll make it episode 7 to like 14, will be my spice story. So stay tuned for that. If anybody has listened to this, I fucking appreciate you. It is a struggle, and the biggest thing is I just got to get consistent with it. I'm going to do these ones because it's a little less demanding with just the one camera, and I'm only running like half my board for doing this microphone. I have the other one off, but I'm only running half the board versus when I'm running so much more and I'm taking up a lot of resources on the computer or whatever, And so this will be fine for now. And I'm also I think I'm downgrading the video here, so because it is dark, So whatever. But yeah, man. I appreciate it, guys. I really do. I'm glad I got the ball rolling. Above all, sitting here, I thought I was gonna like not know what to say. I thought I was gonna ramble. Like obviously I'm rambling on, but I thought I was just gonna not get some footing. And we'll work it out. We'll work it out. I've done like 10 podcasts at this point. Not even, maybe like 7 podcasts. So it's like I'm still a newbie at it. Still working out the kinks, but life is all right, man. It's not bad at all. It could always be worse. It could always be better. It's a matter of perspective, really. Your situation, as it currently sits, is all about perspective. It can look bad and it can look good. Just you have to make that. I'm not gonna be all philosophical and like this big ol' go out there and be great, guys. But for real, from heart to heart, from the bottom of my heart, rather. I hope everybody the best. See you guys later.